I'm Stu Shannon and I'm back out in the bush today. What I want to do is show you guys a simple method of setting up a basic hoochie shelter, and this is credit to Gordon Deadman who taught me this method. So thanks for that one, Gordon. We'll find a nice spot and I'll show you how to set up a basic army style hoochie shelter. All right, now just before we press on any further, I wanted to stop and show you this. I found this Lomandra here. This is known as the Lomandra longifolia, which is the botanical name, but this is actually a form of bush tucker. And if you see this this plant, you can get a little bit of sustenance, but you've got to get the right part of the plant. So what you want to do is you want to get into the center of the plant, and you want to pull it out at the base. Now you see this white part at the base of the stem, that's all edible. Now you would have seen this in a lot of Aussie bush tucker type videos, but that stuff's really good to eat. You can eat it raw and it tastes like peas, but if you want to, you just cut off this white part. You can chop it up and use it in a soup or a stew that you boil up. So that's something that can keep you going if you really need it. It's not going to fill you up a whole lot, and you'd have to collect a whole lot of it to get a good meal out of it. But Lomandra longifolia, good bush tucker. All right, now this is a pet peeve of anyone who spends a lot of time in the bush. If you got to drop a Bondi cigar out here, that's fine, you know, but if you're going to bring toilet paper with you, at least bring yourself a latrine kit, you know. Even something as simple as a little garden trowel, a cigarette lighter, and some toilet paper is a fine latrine kit. Dig yourself a little hole, drop your, your brown-eyed mullet in the hole, wipe your business, and then light the paper, burn it down to ash, push it into the hole and bury it. You know, this toilet paper, it doesn't break down out here. It takes years to break down, and you find these little bits of toilet paper all over the bush. It's not pretty to look at. It's not pleasant. It's disgusting. So bring yourself a decent latrine kit if you have to drop a deuce out in the bush. All right, now what I've been looking for to set up this army style hoochie is two trees that are the right distance apart. I was looking for something about 9, maybe 10 foot apart, and that's going to give us the perfect distance to string up our army style hoochie. I'm going to show you this method that was taught to me by Gordon Deadman. So I'll show you the knots and stuff that we use up close, and I'll use this as my wide angle. Okay, the first knot that I'm going to teach you is one courtesy of Gordon Deadman, and it's called the Siberian Hitch. So you can see I've come around the tree here clockwise. I've got my standing end here and I've got my working end here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to lay both ropes over my left hand here, like so. I'm going to loop this one back over again. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down with this hand, up and over. I'm going to place this working end between my two fingers and I'm going to pull it through the loop that I've just made. And then what I can do, once I've tightened that up, is I can tension that knot back up against the tree. And that's going to hold nice and tight for me. And it's also a quick release knot, so when I'm ready to pull down my hoochie, I can just tug on this and the whole thing's going to release. All right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put my thread my hoochie onto that line that will form my ridge line. So it's just a simple matter of threading the line through the loops on the top of your hoochie. All right, so now the hoochie's threaded onto that ridge line. I'm going to show you how to tie up the other end. All right, once again, courtesy of Gordon Deadman. This one I'm about to do is called the Taut line hitch, and this is going to keep our ridge line nice and taut that holds our hoochie. So basically the way that this one works is we come around the tree clockwise once again, and what you want to do this time is you want to throw your working end over your ridge line, and you want to hold the tension on that ridge line and pull that working end nice and tight. Right, you want to keep the tension on there the whole time on this. And then what you're going to do is you're going to come, just grab my spare line. You're going to come around the back while keeping that tension on the line. It's really important that you keep that tension the whole time. You're going to come around the back, and then you're going to come over the top of that ridge line again. And you'll notice once I do that, I hope you can see here, but you form a little triangle here. And what you're going to do is you're going to pass a bite. Whenever we make a loop in a knot, we call it a bite. We're going to pass a little bite up through that triangle, just a little one. And then what we're going to do is we're going to make another bite in the line, and we're going to pass that through the bite that we just created. And then we're going to pull the whole thing tight. Now that's going to be a quick release knot. What I like to do is just make that bite a little bit smaller. The whole thing's a quick release knot, so if I yank on this working end, it'll free the whole thing, but you'll see that ridge line is so taut I could almost play a note on it. All right, now all that's left to do is spread the hoochie along that ridge line, and then you just get the corners pegged down with some guy lines like you would on a normal tent tarp. So that part I'm not even going to bother taking you through, but I'll get him finished off now. And there you have it, guys, an army style hoochie that you could quite comfortably spend a couple of nights under if you had to. I've got a ground sheet in my bag there. I might even have a bit of a nap and then set myself up a tea. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this episode on how to set up an army style hoochie in the bush.